I'm Tony SEGRETO. Here's what's ahead on 4 News Now. So, are you up to Grandma's house for the holidays? Millions of people are, and just look at the hazardous conditions around the nation. Americans are dealing with bad weather. We'll give you a report. And from the roadways to the airports, millions more are flying. We will have the latest live. Medical history tonight, and Channel 4 News was part of it. Our cameras allowed live in an operating room. Sight-saving surgery for a 4-year-old girl. And we will show you unbelievable pictures of a demonstration where protesters stopped at nothing to storm a meeting on behalf of their cause. What's it all about? Stick around. All this and breaking news. 2 FP&L workers electrocuted while on the job. 4 News Now is next.
Stay with us. Channel 4 News. Tony SEGRETO. Teresa Rodriguez. Ryan Norcross. Live, this is 4 News Now.
Good evening, everyone. Breaking news tops 4 News Now tonight. A deadly construction accident just before the Thanksgiving holiday. 2 people electrocuted, 2 others seriously hurt. Let's go right to the scene now, live with Channel 4's David Bloom. David, can you fill us in as to how this all happened?
Yeah, Tony, we're right outside the entrance of the Doral Country Club. You can see here this concrete pillar. This crane was trying to lower the concrete pillar into the ground there, but you can also see these high voltage power lines, and the workers simply got too close. The crane is, that is, when this electrocution occurred around 2:30 this afternoon. Now, the crane operator himself was not injured. You can see him here. But apparently he might have violated the safety guidelines that are posted clearly on the side of this crane. They say you cannot be within 20 feet of high voltage power lines. And of course, it looked to us more like about 5 feet, maybe at most 10 feet that the crane was away. Now, 2 of the workers who were standing as this concrete pillar was being lowered were electrocuted. They died at Palmetto General Hospital. 2 others are in stable condition right now.
What actually touched the wires is the cables that were holding the concrete pillar. They were swung over to the right a little too far, and the cables themselves touched the electrical wires, and that sent the charge into the metal pieces inside the post, and that's what electrocuted the gentlemen that were guiding the post inside.
Now, this crane is owned by PJ Constructors out of Miami. According to OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, they were cited for 9 safety violations from 1985 to 1989, 4 of them serious. OSHA, as well as Metro-Dade Police, are out here investigating. The 4 workers who were on the ground, 2 of them were standing there, 2 of them were inside the hole that the Traffic Light Foundation was being lowered into. They were with Quality Electronics out of Clewiston, Florida. The 2 men who are still alive are said to be between 20 and 30 years old. Tony, back to you.
David, what happens now? What's the procedure as far as the investigation?
Well, Metro-Dade Homicide is out here because of the fact that 2 people were killed, even though this is obviously an accidental death. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, the federal agency responsible for providing safety regulations for companies, they take over at this point and try to decide whether there were safety violations here. And as we say, on the face of it, there would appear to be, because on the side of the crane it clearly says, don't operate this within 20 feet of a high voltage power line. And you can see these lines, they were no more than 5, at most 10 feet away from them.
Okay, David, thank you very much for that live report. Another tragic start to this holiday weekend. A child run over by a truck. Now, it happened at Pioneer Middle School in Cooper City during a change of class. Apparently, this truck was backing up in the school parking lot when the 6th grader slipped and got trapped under the wheel. Now, other kids who saw it happen started yelling, "Stop, stop." The boy was airlifted to Memorial Hospital. He suffered a fractured pelvis. Right now, he is in stable condition. The weather around the country isn't very stable on this holiday eve because this is traditionally the busiest day for travel,
right.
And I have a feeling that people are just going to be stranded all over the country.
They are, Tony. An icy grip on the heart of America tonight. A massive snowstorm pounding Kansas, Iowa, and Oklahoma, and nasty rain stretching to the northeast. Now, all this as 29 million Americans hit the road for the holidays, with countless others in the air. Now, one look at the weather map tells it all. The entire eastern half of the U.S. socked by clouds. The one bright spot, South Florida. Now, if you're on the way to see family or staying right here in South Florida, we have live team coverage from the roads to the airways. Let's begin with a live picture from Sky 4 this evening's rush hour. And as you can see, traffic right now on the turnpike in Broward is actually, it is quite heavy there. You can see it.
State your life.
Now, AAA predicts travel across the country this Thanksgiving will be the heaviest in at least 7 years. In fact, over 29 million people are expected to hit the roads. That's up 7.5% from last year. And nearly 5 million people plan to travel by plane, train, or bus. That's up more than 4% from a year ago. Now we're going to keep Sky 4 up and about, roaming over potential trouble spots and bring you live traffic updates throughout this hour. Tony?
Well, airlines often have their busiest day, as we said, going to talk to Teresa on this Thanksgiving Eve. So how are things at Miami International Airport tonight? Let's go live to Channel 4's Hank Tester, who's been at the airport all day. And I have to say this, Hank, how appropriate to send a reporter with the most patience we have here in our newsroom to handle this story today.
I'll tell you what, Tony, the story out here, number one, Joe Roszinski, my photographer, and I got out here in about 15 minutes from downtown Miami, so that anticipated rush really hasn't happened. But if we look right over here, Joe, let's look over here. Here's the story. They're hauling people out of here. If you even as so much as slightly park in a different spot, that man right there in the blue and the baseball cap, he's going to come a knocking, and he's going to write you a ticket, and you are going to get towed away. Trust me, they're being meaner than cornered rattlesnakes out here about this. Now, let's get down to business. Right now, we have not seen the big rush that we anticipated, but I'll tell you what, it could come in about 15 or 20 minutes. And what I mean by that is that 70,000 people they expect through here could be here. So how can you prepare for it? Well, we talked to a SkyCap.
Get here and get here early. I mean, as early as you can, because it's going to be wall-to-wall people here.
Good advice. All night till around midnight. The SkyCaps ought to know. They've been through the holiday rush too many times. And their advice, have your luggage marked and identified. Have a game plan. Get someone else to drop you off at the airport. And even better, take a cab. Parking will become a premium and can be expensive. How about those weather problems? Out west, good news.
Thank God Denver's open. We might got stuck
Denver is open.
Oh, yeah, they opened up Stapleton last night.
And while Miami folk are heading out to see loved ones, the influx of holiday visitors is coming in, looking for the warm. Chicago,
the Windy City.
it's the garden spot of the world. What are you doing down here?
Came for some sunshine,
Really?
relaxation, visiting relatives.
Good, for the holidays?
Mm-hmm.
Great. You're probably looking forward to getting warm, right?
Right, it's warm already.
Are you going to hit the beach?
No,
No. Okay.
the golf courses.
When are you going to take that coat off?
Never.
I mean, is this warm enough for you down here, folks?
Yes, it is. Very warm.
Is that why you're here?
To get away from the cold, yes.
And how about Thanksgiving? You here to see people?
See her parents and that for Thanksgiving, then go on a cruise.
All right. So how about that? They're going on a cruise, and AC Graphics, your partners in printing, they're going to get towed here. Basically, we need to tell you this, that the situation at the airport, relatively okay. Not as crowded as we thought, but I talked to the folks at the Fort Lauderdale airport, and they have a theory about all this. A lot of people, Tony, have left town sort of, over the last couple, 3 or 4 days. They say the big day is going to be Sunday, when everybody has to come back from up north and out of all that snow, get back down here in time for work on Monday. Tony, back to you.
Did you say meaner than cornered rattlesnakes?
Well,
That's a great description.
Last week, we talked about those Buffalo Bill fans. You know what I mean, Tony? You get the picture.
I get the picture. The SkyCaps, though, they're the ones who've got to keep the smiles because they're the ones that are just being inundated with all this anger.
They're doing real well. Everything is under control. And besides, they take the tips. You know what I mean?
I get you. Okay, Hank, happy Thanksgiving.
Come on down.
Okay, and as for Fort Lauderdale, as Hank alluded to, officials there tell us they expect their busiest day to be Sunday and Monday, when about 30,000 travelers are expected to pass through. Today, they're expecting a crowd of about 25,000. Teresa?
Well, Tony, airports across the country have another problem on their hands, not just crowds, but snow. Take a look at this. This is video from Kansas City. A blizzard has socked much of that area, including the city's airport. Now, parts of western Kansas, and they're buried under nearly a foot of snow. Now, it's made for a treacherous travel on the roads, but fortunately, most of the delays at the airport are not major. Meteorologist Brian Norcross has been tracking this nasty storm system. He's live now at our storm center with more. Snow for the Midwest, Brian?
Lots of snow in the Midwest. Snow is heading into the upper Midwest. This is the situation for the turkey travel if you're heading out tonight and into tomorrow. And what you see here is a big batch of snow. Now, it's leaving the Kansas area, and now snowing like crazy up in Iowa. It's going to be heading into Michigan, just brushing Chicagoland. So you folks heading out on United or American Airlines up into Chicago may run into troubles. It's drizzling up there now. Lots of drizzle along the East Coast, and very, very very strong storms in the south, including metropolitan Atlanta. So you folks heading out on Delta may run into problems in the Atlanta area. So anywhere up the East Coast, across the Midwest, and then down onto the plains, travel trouble right now. But it is going to get better by Sunday. Things should be significantly better. As a matter of fact, if you get where you're going here today or tomorrow, then you're not going to have any trouble getting back. Now, let's go ahead and focus in on Kansas. You saw a few pictures there. They have had in the Kansas City metropolitan area 4 or 5 inches of snow there, and the snow continuing to come down, but now lightly as the storm moves on to the northeast. The heavier snow amounts were on in the western part of the state, but it was snowing, as you see, pretty hard in Kansas earlier today. Now we go up to Des Moines, where it's the last day of school before the holidays. These kids are going on home. Oh, look out. A little anxious to get on the bus there, I think. But here's the story in Des Moines. If you're heading up that way, the snow has picked up. There's 6 inches on the ground now, and it's going to continue to snow hard through the night tonight, maybe another 3 or 4 inches. And we go on to Texas. Now, this was the scene yesterday. This doesn't look good, you say, but doesn't look that bad. Well, there's 200 of these cars stuck out there on I-40. This was yesterday as the blizzard moved through Texas. The good news is I-40 is now open, and the snow has now ended in the Texas Panhandle. So quite a scene in the Midwest. Watch yourself. Plan on lots of extra time for traveling tonight. As I say, good news, it is going to be better by Sunday. Back with our weather. Is it ever going to get cool? I'll tell you in just a few minutes.
Please do something about this. Okay, you know, 3 months since Hurricane Andrew, and life is still not back to normal, especially for areas of South Dade. But for many, it's given Thanksgiving extra meaning, as you can imagine. Although homes were destroyed, spirits have not been crushed. Channel 4's Susan Wallace visited with South Dade families today. Coming up at 6, find out how some are spending their Thanksgiving holiday. That's ahead on the Channel 4 News at 6. Now, if you're planning to spend your holiday weekend outside, stay away from Crandon Park Beach. Crandon and Rickenbacker Causeway beaches will remain closed until Monday because of high levels of bacteria from that sewage spill earlier this week. However, beaches from Miami to Golden Beach will be okay through the weekend. Now, some people head to the beaches for Thanksgiving. Others hit the malls. Traditionally, the day after Thanksgiving is the biggest shopping day of the year. But guess what? Malls were packed today with folks trying to get a jump on the holiday season. Retailers apparently luring in customers with pre-holiday sales. And coming up at 6, more on the Christmas crunch and what folks are spending their money on.
The President and First Lady Barbara Bush will be spending a quiet Thanksgiving weekend together by the sea. The Bushes headed to Kennebunkport, Maine this afternoon. They'll feast on traditional holiday fare: roast turkey, bread stuffing, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, and pecan pie. Yummy. They head back to Washington on Sunday. President-elect Bill Clinton spending the day before Thanksgiving working on his transition team. Today he named the heads of his cluster groups. Included in the bunch, Samuel Berger and New York Congressman Tom Downey. Tomorrow, Clinton spends Thanksgiving Day at home with his family. Well, with all the nasty weather around the country, it seems South Florida may be the place to be this Thanksgiving holiday. Let's go back now to Channel 4 meteorologist Brian Norcross for a look at our forecast.
Teresa, wasn't it a magnificent South Florida? We wouldn't hardly call it a fall day, almost a winter day. Temperatures in the mid-80s, a beautiful day to get out, enjoy Biscayne Bay, do a little fishing. This is along the Rickenbacker Causeway. Super special South Florida day here today, and I think we're going to have another great one here tomorrow. Let's check the numbers downtown here. At 5 o'clock, it's still 80 degrees, and it feels like 88 with the humidity at 82%. A little nicer breeze out there today, and the humidity may be down a couple of notches for much of the day. Southeast winds at 6, and no rain here, hardly a cloud in the sky on this beautiful day. Not the story in North Florida, though. We have storm track radar here. Looking at storms, big ones off the Gulf Coast. Here's Panama City right in here. Quincy, Florida, right up in there. Now watch as we go through the afternoon hours. And look at this line of storms heading right into the Quincy area, very close over here to Tallahassee, and spreading up into West Georgia, where once again they have flood watches in effect for all of West Georgia on up into the metropolitan Atlanta area. So as I said a few minutes ago, travel into Atlanta is going to be a nightmare here tonight. This stuff is finally going to move out, but it's going to be slow to do it. Here's the way the satellite picture looks, and what you see is lots of sunshine all over the peninsula from about Gainesville or Ocala south. But here's that front trying to push in, nasty weather pushing in there to the, as you saw on the radar, into the Panhandle. And here you see on the satellite picture the clouds are just being pushed away from us. We have a little bit lower humidity in here. That's sort of evaporating some of the clouds. But as this cold front slides on into the state here, going through the Panhandle very slowly down the peninsula, very, very slowly. Finally, I think we'll see it here over the weekend. So here is your forecast now. Let's go ahead and check in with the boaters, and then I think we're going to check in with Kansas City. So the seas are running 3 to 5 feet, the bay is a moderate chop, and the surf temperature at 80 degrees. And for tonight, no Turkey, just record mild weather. Again this morning, 77, a record warm morning for this date, looking for 75 by tomorrow morning. And for tomorrow, wonderfully warm, just a slight chance of afternoon shower and a high up to 86. Okay, we have Lisa Reinhardt standing by, live in Kansas City now, where they've had quite a bit of snow today, but looks like it's tapering off. Lisa, what's going on there now?
Well, Brian, I tell you what, it's just a beautiful day now. This morning, we were expecting to get a full foot of snow from that storm that came in from Colorado. Fortunately, that storm, unfortunately for western Kansas, however, that storm just stalled out and gave them over a foot. We here just got about 3 or 4 inches, but you would be amazed at how 3 or 4 inches can cripple an entire city. We had all kinds of traffic accidents, so much today that police had to implement an emergency snow preparedness, and saying that if you don't have chains and snow tires on your car, you're going to get a ticket. So anyway, it's clearing up here. You can see by my breath here that it's still very cold, but we are having some melting on our streets, and fortunately for travelers wanting to go home for the holidays, they're doing fine. Back to you in Miami, Brian.
Okay, I can see the traffic's moving in Kansas City at least, although not the story points north Des Moines and heading toward Chicagoland and up into Wisconsin. So watch yourself traveling up that way. Okay, that's it, Tony.
Okay, Brian. Coming up next on 4 News Now, British tourist under fire just back from Britain. Ari Odzer talks with folks who still want to come to South Florida despite the smash and grab robberies. Sight-saving surgery for a 4-year-old. Our cameras allowed into the operating room. A first ever. Health reporter Ileana Bravo was there.
And we were privileged to be in there. It's only one of several, only a handful of operations like this that have been done live in the entire country. We'll bring you that emotional story.
Looking forward to it. Then coming up on the Channel 4 News at 6, we will meet 2 children, heroes who saved their mother and baby sister by knowing how to call 911.
Can you me the versus squat? My mom having a seizure. 2179.
4 News Now is coming right back.
It has a 10-cylinder, 400-horsepower engine and seats up to 7. It hits over 1 G on a skid pad and has an available built-in child seat. Its front fenders resist dents and chips. It has 133 sound deadeners, silencers, baffles, and mufflers. And there's room in back for 49 bags of groceries. Caravan, Viper, and Intrepid. The new Dodge.
Exciting stakes action throughout the entire Thanksgiving weekend. Special Thanksgiving Day post time, 11 a.m.
Well, I'm sure glad Winn-Dixie discounts their makeup 30% every day. I saved 75 cents on this nail polish and $1.20 on this $4 lipstick. So don't hate me, because I'm cost conscious. You don't even know me. Ever been down to your last pair of pantyhose and it's a week till payday? No, sir, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your wife. Well, now Winn-Dixie discounts pantyhose 20% every day. I save 80 cents a pair, 40 cents a leg, 10 cents a toe. No, 8 cents a toe.
It is 5:17 on this Thanksgiving Eve. You're looking at a live picture from Sky 4 and Mike Paxton. It looks as if the traffic is moving at least. It's jammed, but at least it's flowing. Is that right?
Well, Tony, it's certainly jammed on the Turnpike extension. Northbound slow in 2 places. First, from Kendall Drive all the way up to the Bird Road Toll Plaza, and then it slows down again at 836, and that stop and crawl all the way through that Okeechobee Toll Plaza. Now, we've just been advised of a serious accident in Broward County. It happened a couple of minutes ago. An overturned dump truck northbound 95. Just as you approach the New River Bridge, all lanes are blocked. Traffic getting by on the right side, and delays solid back to the airport area, almost back to Griffin Road. And that is traffic on 4 News Now.
Hi, I'm Sears Sales Associate appreciate Gretchen Leckie Ewing, and we have some of the best Christmas values in our history.
This Kenmore extra large capacity washer with 6 cycles is only $356. Matching dryer $276. Both only $14 a month on your Sears Charge Plus. And this Kenmore upright back with 7.5 amps and onboard attachments is at our lowest price ever. Only $99.99. You save $40. Only at Sears Brand Central now.
You can count on me.
Sometimes I wish I could have been a grandmother to my own kids. Grandmothers don't get back talk. We get hugs. We tell stories, give out lollipops. And when you're a grandmother, you've got time for an uninterrupted cup of coffee.
It's nice to have the time to appreciate the smooth, rich taste of Sanka coffee.
And after the little ones give me all that joy, they go home.
Sanka, everything you love about coffee.
Right now, at Sound Advice, you can get ready for the holidays without paying 1 penny's worth of interest for 6 months or making a payment for 6 months. It's your choice. Plus, put no money down during the Sound Advice No Pay Till May electronic sale. Save big on Florida's best selection of audio, video, and mobile electronics. And don't pay 1 red cent for 6 months. The Sound Advice No Pay Till May electronic sale going on now. Better hurry. We can't keep saying no forever.
Paul Simon speaks exclusively to a current affair about the murder of his South African friend.
This is disgusting. I would have thought that this couldn't have happened.
Simon says on the next A Current Affair.
A Current Affair on Channel 4 at 7 after NBC Nightly News.
Tattoos are still the rage in Hollywood, but while some stars can't wait to show theirs off, others can't wait to get theirs off. Plus, this man is the real young indie, Harrison Ford, in the early years on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight, 7:30 on Channel 4 after A Current Affair.
4 News Now continues.
Fitting on a day when domestic travel is at its peak, we bring you a story about travel abroad. Not Americans traveling there, but rather foreigners coming here. With all the recent violent attacks on tourists in South Florida, Channel 4's Ari Odzer, just back from London, asked some Brits about that.
Big Ben tells Londoners the time of day. The weather, mostly miserable here, tells the English it's time to go away. And where do they go? Florida, of course.
I went to Miami.
St. Petersburg.
I'm going to Miami next year, May, hopefully.
On a cold winter's day in London, that advertisement probably looks mighty enticing. We wanted to find out whether or not people here are being scared away from heading to Florida by the reports of high crime against tourists in Miami. Stories like this one a few months ago. Thugs attack a British couple in Miami, shooting first and robbing later. The woman almost died. That incident made the news in London. In fact, people here tell us they regularly hear stories about English tourists being mugged in Florida. You've never been to the South Florida area, Miami?
No.
Have you been scared away from there by reports of crime against tourists in Miami?
No, just as much crime in London.
That may or may not be true, but certainly we never hear about American tourists being afraid to go to London. The city is loaded with visitors even now in the off-season. So it's a matter of perspective. From here, Miami looks great. So you haven't been scared away by these reports of tourists being mugged there and assaulted and that sort of thing?
I think at first I was, but then it's one of those things that happens everywhere, doesn't it?
I mean, that sort of thing can happen to you anywhere, can't it?
So the English shrug at the crime threat. A travel agent tells us the sunny weather of the Sunshine State is more important. Roger, how popular is Florida, especially South Florida, with tourists this time of year?
Well, with about 1 million tourists travelling from the UK at this time of year, it's probably still the biggest destination for us in the UK.
And people aren't being scared away from Miami by reports of crime there?
Not at all. British people are a resilient lot. They're happy with it. Short memories. They love the sun. It's beautiful.
And joining us now live from our Fort Lauderdale newsroom is Channel 4's Ari Odzer, just back from London. Ari, I know when I've been there before, especially for football games, I mean, Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins, that's all those people want to see, and they just love the beaches. It's romantic to them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tony. Let me tell you about a very ironic incident. How's this for something weird happening? We're talking about these people yesterday. We were talking to them in the morning yesterday, London time. We arrived back to Miami International Airport last night, our time. We go to the parking garage, we find our news car, somebody had broken into it. We became victims of crime on the same day that we were talking about this with these people in London. So, you know, these things happen. They happen to us, they happen to other people, but as you heard those people saying, nobody is going to stop coming to Florida because of a few incidents like that.
Were you able to at all reinforce one of the statements that they said, well, the crime is just as bad here?
Not really. I mean, there are areas of London which are very bad areas to go to, but we didn't go to those areas, and most tourists won't go to those areas. But they do tell you, everyone tells you, watch your wallet, don't get pickpocketed, that sort of thing.
It didn't appear to me as if you had much trouble finding people who said they wanted to come to South Florida. I mean, it seemed to me as if you were just walking along the street and just talking to anyone and them saying, yeah, we want to go there.
Well, that's exactly how it was. We spoke to, I think, 4 people. One didn't want to talk on camera, the other 3 did, and you saw what they had to say. All 3 of those people had either been to Florida or are going to Florida, and certainly wouldn't be scared to come to Miami because of the reports they get there. And you know how the tabloids work over there. It's very sensationalized. When something like that happens to a British tourist here, you can bet it's going to be on the headlines over there, and people are going to know about it, but it's still not scaring them.
Okay, Ari, thank you very much. Good to have you back home.
Good to be home.
Okay, Ariadne reporting live.
Who says people don't care about their red wine? Take a look at this angry demonstration by French farmers over last week's trade agreement between the U.S. and Europe. Riot police tried to protect themselves from the angry mobs as they tried to block the entrance to the National Assembly where a debate on the trade agreement was taking place. 40 people were injured. Still no word on how many were arrested.
Coming up next on 4 News Now, the gift of sight. Are cameras allowed into the operating room? Doctors try to make it possible for a 4-year-old to see tomorrow's turkey. A brave little boy stricken with the AIDS virus. He's going to go home for the holidays.
I'm Katrina Daniel in Broward, and I bet you thought there was no such thing as debtor's prison. Well, you'd be wrong. We'll have that story coming up exclusively on the Channel 4 News.
And we're going to take you live to New York City, where final preparations are underway for the Macy's Day Parade. But will the weather hold? Stick with us. 4 News Now is coming right back.
Toyota's November to Remember is almost over. This Thanksgiving weekend is the best time to save. Your Toyota dealer's got low prices on the biggest shipments in years. Save with special lease deals on Camry and the all-new Corolla. Get $800 cash back. Incentives up to $900 on the SRX. And there are option savings up to $1,500. This is your last chance. Hurry to your Toyota dealer because it all ends December 2nd.
Right here, right now, right by my side, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Presenting a better way to reach your customers. Essex Service from Southern Bell. It's the key to a family of communication services that are tailored around your small business, so you can add lines and features as you need them. Essex Service gives your small business something other systems can't. Flexibility.
Just get here if you can.
After Thanksgiving sale, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, opens 8 a.m. Friday. Don't be late.
This party's getting off to a good start. Hold on, I got a surprise.
Ooh, champagne.
Your clothes, tasty.
The color's beautiful.
Oh, this is great. Was this new? Yeah, it's Blanc de Noir.
Blanc de Noir, a wonderful new taste from Tots.
I've never had a champagne like it. That's the surprise.
Tots Blanc de Noir. There's no champagne quite like it.
Taking a look at Wall Street on this pre-holiday Wednesday, the Dow closed up 17.56 on the volume of 208,066,000 shares. So local stocks of interest. People's Telephone is up 5/8, Specs Music up 1 point, and Disney is down 3/4. And a reminder, the market will be closed tomorrow for the holidays. But you knew that.
This holiday season, give the gift of holiday cash. The little gift that gives you a chance to win big. Even double your prize, up to $500. Holiday Cash, the new scratch-off game from the Florida Lottery. A little gift with big possibilities.
Dixie Crystals. Pure cane sugar. For 75 years, the finest sugar. For 75 years, pure and natural. Dixie Crystals. For 75 years, a sweet taste of the sun.
It's Christmas at Home Depot, where you'll find the most useful gifts of all. Like this Skill 7 1/4-inch circular saw, a great addition to any workshop, just $59. This Skill Twist 3.6-volt cordless screwdriver for pro and do-it-yourselfer alike, only $19.92. And for extra power with cordless convenience, this Skill 7.2-volt cordless drill, just $39. Happy holidays from Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Mervin's 3-hour specials start Friday, 7 a.m. Save 50% on these 3-hour specials and more. Don't miss it.
Kids, let's go!
Real kids become real heroes when they learn how to dial 911. 911 Rescue, tonight at 6 and 11 on Channel 4 News. Gotta know the latest in sports? Call the 4 News Sports Hotline. In Dade, 358-8000, code 4444. In Broward, 731-7000, code 4444. It's free and a service of the Real Talk Yellow Pages and Channel 4 News. You're watching 4 News Now.
Remember these folks? I forget. One of Broward County's most infamous couples. Can you believe it? That's right, Jeff and Kathy Willits. Why in the world are they back in the media spotlight? One has to wonder, right? We will have the latest ahead in this half hour of 4 News Now. Also ahead, live to New York, getting set for the Macy's Day Parade and malls, money, and, yes, Christmas lights. But first, Channel 4 made medical history in South Florida today. At noon, our cameras brought you these live pictures from an operation that could give a 4-year-old girl back her sight. Health reporter Ileana Bravo was in the operating room. This must have just been, I mean, an awesome experience for you, for our people, for the family, for the girl.
It was very exciting. It was an honor to be in there. As you know, there have only been a handful of operations broadcast live by television stations in the entire country, and they've been done on public television. So this was a special privilege for us and for viewers in South Florida to be allowed inside the operating room at Miami Children's Hospital. But before we get on to that historic operation, I'd want you to meet the object of all of our attention, and that is 4-year-old Melanie Rada.
Thank you. Good turn.
She's a bouncy, chubby-cheeked toddler, a 4-year-old handful for Jose and Maria Rada. The problem with Melanie is that she was blinded by cataracts, a result of huge doses of steroids to control her chronic anemia. It is what brought Melanie into the Miami Children's Hospital operating room, where a team of surgeons will remove the cataracts which cloud her vision and fight to restore her sight. An operation that is not common in kids and rarely done on both eyes at the same time.
Cataract surgery, I would estimate, in children under 5 years of age is probably done 1,000 times a year in the United States. Adult cataract surgery is done about 1,000,000 times a year in the United States.
Doctors believe at the end of the 2-hour operation, Melanie's sight will be remarkably improved. It is 11:36 in the morning. Ophthalmic surgeons Cleve Howard, Melissa Jablons, and a team of 5 begin. At 11:45, they make the first of 2 incisions, each 1 millimeter in size, made with a tiny needle in Melanie's left eye. As you can see through this camera attached to a microscope, an instrument cuts the cloudy film away and suctions the cataracts out. It is 12:30 now, and surgeons have successfully cut out all the cataracts in Melanie's left eye. At 12:45, they are finishing the stitches.
The cataracts were as white as milk glass, so the light that could go through would simply be shadows and light only. And that was her level of vision, so I'm sure it will be improved.
At 1:20, surgeons start on Melanie's right eye. The camera in the microscope again captures the moment when the cataracts are cut out. It is now 2 o'clock, and surgeons have completed the complex 2-hour operation. Melanie is in recovery now, waiting for the anesthesia to wear off. Doctors tell us they rarely operate on both eyes at once, but in Melanie's case, her blood disorder makes her a high-risk candidate to go through a separate operation. Dr. Howard explains to the family that things went well. Finally, at 2:25, Melanie is wheeled to where her parents await. At 2:29, doctors take off the bandages from Melanie's eyes. She tells her parents she no longer sees the clouds. They put glasses on her, but she's still too groggy to open her eyes. In Spanish, however, her parents tell me they're grateful their little girl will get to see the beautiful things in her life now. Doctors can't cure her blood disorder, but they've changed her life by giving her the gift of sight.
We haven't affected her underlying condition, but we have improved the quality of her sight and her life. So she should be able to enjoy things much more, being able to see.
And I'm happy to report that just about 30 minutes ago, I received a phone call from our photographer at the hospital who says that Melanie opened her eyes and she recognized Mom and Dad. So what
gives you chills.
I know, it
What
really
a
does.
great story.
And the family wants to put out a special thank you tonight to Tony Burns, who is the CEO and president of Ryder Corporation, because he made all of this happen for the family, bringing them from Argentina, paving the way with his extensive connections in this community for them to get the medical help that they've been able to. And the way that these people's paths crossed, incidentally, is because they are all members of the Mormon Church, and Burns' son lived in their home in Argentina years ago. So there you go.
Tony's a great friend, a great man, a graduate of BYU, as we talked about
He is
earlier.
quite a humanitarian, and this family is grateful.
Oh, what a Thanksgiving for Melanie when she opens her eyes and sees that turkey tomorrow. Weak, tired, and in pain, Ricky Ray fulfilled his wish today, leaving a hospital to spend the holidays with his family. The 15-year-old AIDS patient went into the hospital in October with pneumonia. At one point, doctors didn't think he'd make it. Today, his mother called his discharge a miracle and told the media her entire family has a lot to be thankful for on this Thanksgiving holiday.
A trial date finally set for an ex-police officer accused of manslaughter. William Lozano's retrial scheduled to begin March 1st in Tallahassee. The Miami police officer claims he was doing his duty when he shot at 2 motorcyclists allegedly trying to run him over. Tallahassee officials say they're afraid of rioting if Lozano is found not guilty. A change of venue request is expected before the trial. Well, a man is held in jail for more than 2 years, but now has an unusual chance to win his freedom. Channel 4's Katrina Daniel is live in our Fort Lauderdale newsroom with the exclusive story. Katrina?
Well, Teresa, this is a real Ripley's Believe It or Not type story. In America, they say that you can't be jailed for owing money. But the case of Jack Keegan is an exception, sort of. The 62-year-old has been in the Dade County Jail for more than 2 years. Now he's got his freedom and about 4 months to fine $2 million.
Yeah, I'm like in a fog. I just can't believe that I'm out. After 28 months, I could never understand why I went in the first place. And then that I'm out, it's fantastic.
The shock of freedom, now reality, hits Jack Keegan. He once managed a maritime insurance company, insuring freight containers like these at the port of Miami. His company was bought out, and the new owners claim Keegan illegally looted $2 million in cash that didn't belong to him. Keegan denied it, but was ordered by the courts to pay. When he didn't, a judge sent him to jail until the cash was returned. That was 28 months ago.
Unbelievable.
Frankly, it's ludicrous to believe that Mr. Keegan doesn't know how he stole the money. Of course he knows. He signed the checks. He put his name on it. He knows where the money went. He ordered it to be moved.
Lawyers on their side were able to convince a jury that somehow you had a missing at least $2 million of theirs. And what, they think that you're bluffing them or waiting them out, hoping that they will quit the case?
They've taken everything that I've owned. They've attached everything. They attached my daughter's college bank account when she was in school up in Tallahassee. They took her $400 bank account. They took my '84 Mercury. came at, 12 o'clock at night and attached that. They've attached everything that I have. They know that I have no money. Now they're saying to me, you got to prove you don't have $2 million. And I can't prove that I don't have $2 million. How do you prove a negative? I don't want to go back to jail. I'm too old. I had a lot of yesterdays. I don't have too many tomorrows.
Now, Keegan is not in court on criminal charges. These are civil charges, but he spent more time behind bars, Teresa, than, say, an armed robber who might have been sentenced to serve 20 years. With gain time and time off for good behavior, the armed robber would have been serving less time.
Incredible story, Katrina. These kind of thing that movies are made of. I guess we'll check back in 4 months and see what happens. Thank you very much.
Well, it's a tradition almost as old as the holiday it celebrates. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade hits the streets of New York City early tomorrow morning. Reporter Lou Young is standing by live where they're working on the finishing touches. And Lou, you just have to be so excited you can't even stand it, right?
Well, I didn't quite hear your question, Tony. The sound of hissing helium is filling the air here. You've come to us at a wonderful moment, though. Garfield the cat's tail is up. That's his tail there. This is his back. His ears are over here. This is a pretty exciting moment. And in case anybody got confused about what this thing is supposed to look like when it's all finished, they've got a little picture over here to try and keep everybody straight as they inflate these balloons. This is West 77th Street on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and the 2 blocks on either side of the American Museum of Natural History are the staging area for the balloons as they are inflated here. And the people come from all over New York City to watch this happen on Thanksgiving Eve. It's almost as popular as the parade itself. This is Garfield. There are 15 huge balloons. It goes on all night. And this, we're standing at the starting point of the parade tomorrow. It will leave from here, go down into Midtown Manhattan, Herald Square, where Macy's is, and of course that's the end of the parade. This thing here, in case you're wondering, is an ice cream cone. I guess that's pistachio. They will be doing this all night, and of course there is a serious edge to this parade because Macy's has had serious financial difficulty this past year, and we asked them if this Thanksgiving and Christmas shopping season isn't up to par. Will they continue to have parades? They say there will be parades as long as there is a Macy's. That cryptic answer tells you that they got their fingers crossed on this upcoming Christmas season, but the parade looks like it's going to come off on schedule if the rain doesn't spoil it tomorrow. We're standing by and keeping our fingers crossed here in that regard, too, on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Back to you folks in Miami.
Okay, Lou Young, thank you very much for that live report. Have a good time now. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Take care.
Okay, Lou Young reporting from New York. And Brian, looks like he was just having a wonderful time, didn't it? I mean, watching Garfield get blown up there like that.
Yeah, he was ecstatic to be there with us.
You could tell. Hey, listen, it's a good thing there's weather out west in the Midwest, because here, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. It's a carbon copy every day.
It's gorgeous out there today. Humidity down a little bit. By the way, for the parade tomorrow in New York, it could be big trouble. Not only are they forecasting rain, they're forecasting the potential for heavy rain there tomorrow. I've tried that 3 times to go up and see that parade in person, and the weather has been so bad each time that it was like, what am I doing here? Trying this, watch it on television, folks. It's much better to be right here. Take a look at the rain in central Florida last night. Now, this is Seminole County around Sanford to the northeast of Orlando, where it came down in buckets, like nearly 7 inches. According to radar, they forecast 7 inches in 3 hours last night between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. along the St. Johns River. The water has gone down, but no doubt some flooding damage done. That was a lovely sight last night. Okay, here we go now with our temperatures outside here. 81 degrees at the Miami airport now, 81 on the beach. Homestead is 79, Fort Lauderdale 80, and Key West at 82 degrees now. Okay, we're going to go up to the Midwest now. We have storm track radar watching a band of snow. This is all snow in here. Now, the rain-snow line is just to the west of Milwaukee. Down, Dubuque is in heavy snow. Milwaukee's in rain. Madison is in snow. Just like that. These are some pretty good storms moving up through Missouri. Raining in Chicago right now, and this is the heavy snow over here in Iowa. So nasty weather up through that part of the country if that's where you're planning to travel. Okay, here we see down in the south our cold front down here with the heavy storms moving up toward the Atlanta area, but especially in South Georgia and North Florida. Look how much cooler back here to the west, only 34 up at Oklahoma City. And up to the northeast we go, where you see weeks of cloudiness continues. This moisture continues north. New York 50 today. They're going to be in the 50s tomorrow, but as I say, heavy rain possible. You see cooler air is starting to slide east. Here's your forecast now. For tomorrow, looking for wonderfully warm weather here. Just a slight chance of a storm late in the day and a high up to 86. It's going to be warm tonight, too. And looking ahead to the weekend, through the rest of the holiday weekend, some afternoon storms likely on Friday and then becoming more likely Saturday. Now, Sunday, Tony, I have cooler and nice, but that's a questionable forecast. Whether it's really going to come through cleanly, another very close call. We'll check it again at 11.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. Coming up next on 4 News Now, a woman's worst fears, stalked in front of your own home by robbers. How to protect yourself. A report you've just got to see.
I'm Jerry Helfman with retailers getting ready for the biggest shopping day of the year.
And coming up on the Channel 4 News at 6, singer-songwriter Paul Simon speaks out about the tragedy one of his band members suffered. 4 News Now is coming right back.
The meeting went fine. What's that? She did. Really? Yes, I wish I could have been there too. Not till late.
Eckerd Express Print 60 brings you quality you never dreamed you'd find in 1-hour processing.
So, what do you say we get up early tomorrow and go for a walk?
For pictures, too important to wait.
What's clear? Crystal clear Amoco Ultimate. What isn't? All other premium gasolines. What's clear? Amoco Ultimate is the only premium refined an extra step to remove harmful impurities other premiums leave in. Impurities that can rob your engine of performance and pollute the air. What's clear? If you use premium, now you have a reason to switch. Crystal clear. Crystal clear Amoco Ultimate.
You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by trailway. You can reach me on an airplane. You can reach me with your mind.
Reaching and servicing customers. A big problem for small business. Nobody has more time-saving ways to help your small business get there than Southern Bell. No one makes it easier to reach your customers.
Just get here if you can.
Right now, at Sound Advice, you can get ready for the holidays without paying 1 penny's worth of interest for 6 months or making a payment for 6 months. It's your choice. Plus, put no money down during the Sound Advice No Pay Till May electronic sale. Save big on Florida's best selection of audio, video, and mobile electronics. And don't pay 1 red cent for 6 months. The Sound Advice No Pay Till May electronic sale going on now. Better hurry. We can't keep saying no forever.
This is Rival's new cookie factory. It's a gift for my family. Fresh, homemade cookies without heating up your oven. Fast, easy, and fun. I'll be the judge of that.
Drop in your favorite cookie dough.
And, whoa!
Chocolate chip.
Oatmeal, bar cookies, snacks, sugar cookies, even shaved pans for molded cookies. I can decorate them. Get back to work. Rival's new cookie factory.
Honey, we're home.
I think they'll enjoy it.
This holiday season,
Yeah.
we've got the perfect gift.
What are you talking about?
The movie event of the year. Batman Returns.
It's gonna be a hot time on Cold Town tonight.
Now on video.
So what are we waiting for?
Follow the signs that point in one direction.
Gotta fly.
To get Batman Returns. Affordably low priced wherever video is sold. No matter how you slice it.
Home Depot has lowered the price of home improvement.
Next time on Entertainment Tonight.
It's an addiction.
Tattoos are still the rage in Hollywood. But while some stars can't wait to show theirs off, others can't wait to get theirs off.
The strangest one was a girl who came to me with a spider web on her breast.
Then this guy opening the door is Indiana Jones.
Why don't you come on in?
It's the real young Indy, Harrison Ford in the early years. Plus, why does Jack Palance regret his famous Oscar push-ups? Find out on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight, 7:30 on Channel 4 after A Current Affair.
4 News Now continues. And welcome back to 4 News Now. She's a nymphomaniac prostitute, married to her police officer pimp, and soon the list of her clients could be made public. The Florida Supreme Court saying there's no reason why the court should keep the name secret. Several men tried to block the release of their names, but today's ruling means no such luck.
Driveway robberies. It's a growing trend here in South Florida. And tonight, Channel 4's Ed Odell tells us what to watch for so you don't become a victim.
Kept trying to beat the horn to wake up everybody or get Monday Night Football off TV or something. And then the next thing I knew, the police were there and the kids were gone.
Gail Meadows was headed home when she noticed a suspicious car. The only thing that saved her was a neighbor with a shotgun. It's happening in more and more driveways, more and more neighborhoods in South Florida.
They try to pick a house where there's no other car in the driveway. They will scout out the neighborhood, try to go to a local mall or area close by, and try to follow somebody home in an area that they had already scouted out.
Their targets are often elderly or women alone, wearing lots of jewelry, maybe even carrying a big purse. Thieves often spot her in a shopping center or coming out of a bank and follow her home from there. As the victim's car puts on a turn signal to turn into the driveway, the robbers turn out their own lights. One of them gets out of the car, hiding in the bushes or behind a tree. By the time the victim can get out of her own car, the robbery is already happening.
Give me a purse. Give me a purse. Give me a purse. Put the jewelry. Come on. Come on. Put the jewelry in there. Hurry up.
From the moment the robber hits the driveway till he's speeding away, the total time is less than 30 seconds. The time to stop a driveway robbery is before it happens. Be discreet about how you dress in public. Be aware of what's around you, especially if you use an ATM machine or come out of a bank. And be ready to take action even at the last minute.
Before you get in your driveway, you see somebody, strange car following you. You get to your house, something happens, the lights go out. Is there still time to beat the robber there?
Sure there is. The robber doesn't want to attack you while you're still in your car. You have time to back out and pull into a driveway where there's somebody home or go back to a public area.
Make sure lights are on around your house all evening. And if someone's home, beep the horn and have the person come out to meet you. Robbers hate bright lights and witnesses. Carmela Santuro helped us dramatize our driveway robbery, but even though she knew it was play acting, she found it hard to keep from resisting.
The police have told you over and over, don't fight. If it ever happens to you again, what are you going to do?
Well, I have to obey the police because they are going to save me.
These are desperate people out here. He's attacking somebody in a driveway of their own home with a gun with a mask on. You got to realize that you might get hurt, and we do not want you to get hurt.
Ed Odell, Channel 4 News.
Now, tomorrow at a special time, 6:30, Ed is going to tell us how to avoid becoming a robbery victim inside your home. Tony?
Well, coming up next on 4 News Now, get out the credit cards and hand over the cash. It's no longer the day after Thanksgiving shopping spree. Now it's the pre-Thanksgiving spree. And famous stars and their tattoos. Coming up at 6. Who's got them? Who doesn't want them anymore? Teresa? 4 News Now is coming right back.
Urgent. Expressway Toyota and Colonial Pontiac Jeep Eagle Isuzu must establish yearly allocations by month's end. We must sell regardless of cost or loss. To us, this new Toyota Corolla will go for no more than $10,489, regardless of cost or loss. Limited time offer. Hurry to Expressway Toyota and Colonial Pontiac Jeep Eagle Isuzu. New 93s must be sold regardless of cost or loss.
Have you decided what you're getting me for Christmas? I'll bet it's something fun, yet personal.
Charlie Brown's new Christmas video makes the perfect gift. Only $4.99, only at Shell.
Red is my favorite color, you know.
This year, there's a brand new way to brighten your holidays. The all-new Charlie Brown Christmas video. Only $4.99, only at Shell. Come and meet Barney the Dinosaur and his friend this Saturday, November 28th, free at the Falls. Don't miss it. The Falls, US 1 at Southwest 136th Street, Miami.
Listen to those who know Humana.
If you're going to render service, you want to be the best in the service. At least, that's how I think.
We really do care about the people that we insure.
The only reason we're here is to service members.
I try and give them what it is they're needing.
Humana really goes above and beyond to keep the customer happy. And that's what keeps us in business.
Humana healthcare plans.
We're all a piece of a big puzzle, and once you put it all together, it works.
We are closing in on the Channel 4 News at 6, as we do every day. Here's Kelly Craig. Hi, Kelly.
Thank you, Tony. It is another horrible case of domestic violence. Listen to this. A South Florida woman fighting for her life after being severely beaten by an ex-boyfriend. And what's really bad about this horrible, horrible story is that it happened in front of her own children. We'll have details, and it's an exclusive.
Dade County Police and Fire, do you have an emergency?
And we begin a special series, How Children Are Becoming 911 Heroes. It's a report you and your kids don't want to miss, so keep it tuned. The news at 6 is just minutes away.
When your sinuses are closing in on you, what you need is a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex adds Vicks Vapors to its decongestant, so at last you can feel your sinuses open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
Cheddar makes it taste better, right, Billy?
Hey, you missed the spot.
Nothing tastes better than hot cheddar on vegetables, huh, Billy?
More cheese right
Oh,
there.
the taste of cheddar makes darn near anything better. Isn't that right, Bill?
It's great.
Thought so. Cheddar makes it taste better.
Santa's Enchanted Forest is the most spectacular Christmas theme park in the world. It features over 1 million lights. See the world's largest white rock Christmas tree, and all carnival rides are free with a paid admission.
Santa's, it's fun. It's magic. It's Christmas.
It's amazing. It's mind-boggling. Don't miss it. Come tonight. Located at the intersection of Bird Road and the Palmetto Expressway.
Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
Before we bought our Mercury Sable, we did plenty of shopping.
And what we found with Sable was more room and trunk space than in a Accord or Camry, available anti-lock brakes, and something most cars just don't offer: dual airbags, standard.
We looked, we liked, we own a Sable.
Take a good look. We've got your new car ready. Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury. Just one look, and I knew that you were the only one.
If you want to save time and money, all it takes is just one look in the real Yellow Pages.
Just one look, that's all it took.
The real Yellow Pages from Southern Bell.
Gotta know the weather? Call the 4 News Weather Phone. In Dade, 358-8000, code 4444. In Broward, 731-7000, code 4444. It's free and a service of the Real Talk Yellow Pages and Channel 4 News.
Welcome back to 4 News Now. You are looking at a live picture, I-95, Griffin Road, the State Road 84 area, northbound traffic. You're looking at a dump truck that was just involved in an accident. As you can see, the dump truck overturned. The truck was filled with debris. It blocked all 3 lanes for a while. In fact, traffic was backed up northbound for about 3 miles. Again, you're looking at a live picture from Sky 4. We'll have much more on this story as the details become available on the Channel 4 News at 6. Now, we end this broadcast where we began with a look ahead to the holidays. But this time, it's not traffic or weather. It's shopping. Who better to tell us about what the retailers are doing for the shoppers than Jerry Helfman.
At Pembroke Lakes Mall, it's out with the old and in with the new. You're replacing these nice pastel ribbons with some Christmas colors, perhaps?
With Christmas banners and gold bows.
Is all of this in preparation for that biggest shopping day of the year this Friday?
Yes, getting ready for Christmas.
Most retailers have been getting ready for Christmas for some time, but today, most are focusing their sights on Friday, traditionally the biggest shopping day of the year.
We're open earlier on Friday, and I believe we stay open later.
We're opening very early, 8 o'clock in the morning, till 10 at night.
You're getting putting some blisters on your fingers from wrapping?
Already this morning, I did 8 wrappings in about a half an hour. People came in. I was very surprised at that.
What's your feeling about the biggest shopping day of the year?
We don't think it is the biggest shopping day of the year. The malls are too crowded, the parking lots are hard to get spaces, so we think everybody's relaxing after Thanksgiving. They'll be out on Saturday.
The traditions are changing. The big sales, normally reserved for Friday, are already here. In fact, everywhere you look, you see sale signs.
I started mine early.
Are you holiday shopping today?
Sure am.
What about this Friday? Do you venture out to malls on Friday?
Not on Friday.
Why not?
Too much of a crowd.
We're staying home for that day. We don't want to hit the stores that day.
Too crowded.
Too crowded, especially with the little one. So we're here today.
Trouble is, when you shop so early, you have to find a place to hide all the loot.
Almost done. My wife, don't look.
In Pembroke Lakes, Jerry Helfman, Channel 4 News.
And that'll do it for 4 News Now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday. Stick close. Joining Kelly Craig for the Channel 4 News at 6. Good night, everybody.